started. Welcome to the final reading for the 2017 Texas Poetry Calendar. As many of you probably already know, we have a super special guest, which is David Meischen. Before we get started with the reading, we are going to bring David up to say a few very exciting words.
Okay, thank you. I'm delighted to be here, and I have good news that I wanted to announce. The 2018 calendar, the next one, Wade and Allyson and I are already working on that one. It's basically going to be our greatest hits. We are reading through 9 years worth of calendars and selecting poems from those. The 2018 will be the last calendar published by Dos Gatos Press, but the good news is that Tony Burnett, with his imprint, Callista Gallo, will be continuing the Texas Poetry Calendar. So Callista Gallo's first one will be the 2019 calendar. Stay tuned for details. Tony and I and Cindy Heiser met Thursday evening after a reading at Bookwoman. I have sent Tony pages of what I could think of that they need to know. Terry Sherrill, who works for our printer, is friends with him and knows how to do what needs to be done within design. We've talked about calendar contents, covers, guidelines, etc. I know that when we get to the point where it's time for the call for poems, Tony will be communicating with us, and we will not be publishing the calendar, but Scott's newsletter that many of you get will have information for the first one. The information about how and where to submit will be on our website first time around. We're just really excited. It was done for 7 years by Flying Cow Productions, Leanne Mercer, out of Fredericksburg. We've done 13 of them, so after and Tony is excited about doing 10 more. So it continues. That's my good news. Another thing I wanted to say is buy calendars. I would love for you to purchase so many today that there are none left over for me to worry about. One other quick announcement. This year, this fall, we published a book of poems by the Albuquerque poet Bruce Noel. But I know a number of you know him. He has been at Poetry at Round Top. Bruce is the person who can get up and transform himself into Whitman for 40 or 50 minutes at a time. Circumference of Light. It's in the system back there. If you're interested in a copy, it's on the table. And you could purchase one from Malvern Books today. I am so wired being here that I need to go sit down for the next hour. So I'm going to turn this back over to Wade and Allyson. Thanks for coming. Thanks supporting the Texas Poetry Calendar for the last dozen years, and we look forward to seeing it continue in capable hands once we are not doing it anymore. Wade and Allyson. And give them a hand, please. They have really made it possible for the calendar to happen while we're 700 or 800 miles from here. Go ahead.
First things, administrative things. We are going to dinner at Trudy's. All are welcome. If you don't know, it's right over there. It's right across the way. There'll be a group walking over if you don't know. Don't worry about it. But all are welcome there. This is a video consent form. All of the readings here at Malvern are wonderfully done. Videotaped and put on YouTube afterwards for those who weren't able to make it to see their friends and loved ones read, and to make you famous. So, we have this form you need to sign if you are reading today. You need to sign this so that the bookstore has your permission to put your face and words online. I'm going to put this over there after I introduce our first reader. So, that's that. We are going to be mostly reading in, as Claire Vogel-Camargo put it, calendarial order today. This is one of our most well-attended readings, and almost every month apart from March, I believe, is going to be represented today. So during the course of the reading, as is the purpose of the calendar, you will get a sense for a year in Texas through poetry. And we'll end right back around where we are now, talking about Christmas. So, our first reader, however, we're going to go just slightly out of order here, is going to be Gloria Amescua. Let's see, she's from Austin, Texas, and she is a Canto Mundo Fellow and Hedgebrook alumna, is the author of 2 chapbooks, Wind Chimes and What Remains. Gloria has been published in a variety of journals and anthologies, including Quelly Journal, Pilgrimage, Bearing the Mask, Southwestern Persona Poems, from Dos Gatos Press, and the anthology Entre Guadalupe y Malinche, Tejanos in Literature and Art. She's also received the Austin Poetry Society Award several times, if I'm not mistaken, and Sergeyevna Award. Got it. Her poem, for those of you following along, is on the week of October 29th. So, let's welcome Gloria to the stage.
They graciously allowed me to be out early because I needed to be a little early for another event. This one's from November, and it's called October's Blood. A mockery of skeletons, children in tutus and tiaras, superheroes in masks, witches and skeletons dream only of treats. Adults imbibe and parade their own shadow monsters. October leaves curl into the scent, our beloved faces shrinking, ash blown into weeds and water, the cycling river heavy with silt. And I'm going to read one other poem rather than 2 because it's a little long. This is from Entre Guadalupe y Malinche, Tejanos in Literature and Art, which I'm very proud to be part of. It's published by UT Press. It's called Fall into the Fig, for my mother. Natural, perfectly ripe, and just picked raw, new from the tree this morning. I bite. Blushing purple cilia, white tip flow inward, burst, flowering in circles, and I turn 10 again, or 7, or some age when I can feast on as many as I want from my tree beside the wash house, where Mama is laundering piles of khakis, dresses, towels. The room is dim, low ceiling. One window at the end that is hard to open. A summer green bell, soft as a child's smile. I haven't eaten a fig in so long. I savor the momentary rush of flying on swings my father made, straddling oak limb hideaways, walking through pastures, eating pink-rooted clovers with salt. I lounge on a leafy green chair, my feet on the ottoman. On the oak table, figs nestle in a brown bowl, the color of my mother's warm arms, skin darkened by birth, cotton fields, and gardens. My pen filling the page, I remember my mother's looped letters, words copied over and over from workbooks. At, cat, that, girl, house, work, live. Her notes on birthday cards, sometimes omitting letters from our name or love. Mom at a late age, knobby fingers still slowly writing, spirals brimming with words that never sat on the blue lines. She wished to be a nurse, to run a business of some kind, perhaps a small grocery store. Detailed how she missed out early on buying profitable land because my father wouldn't sign. She needed a way to be more than an uneducated Mexican, though born in Texas, more than a laundress and a cook in the schools, more than our father's wife and our mother. Always a fire in her of possibility, sparking finally with bitterness about the life she might have led as she edged the end of her life. My ribs encase my mother's embers. I'm keeping them alive with my lungs. My teeth scrape the pulp from the fig's green skin. Chew, swallow it all.
Thank you so much, Gloria. Gloria reminded me of yet another administrative thing that I forgot. The rules are, you read your calendar poem in whatever order you please, because you also have the opportunity to read 2 other poems beyond the calendar poem. If you did not bring 2 other poems of your own, there's a whole wall of poetry here. If you're feeling cheap, there is a $5 per book poetry cart back there. It's amazing. Even if you're not feeling cheap, spend $50, get 25 books. It's amazing. If you know that your friend is here and you wanted to read her poem and you forgot, there are several books by Dos Gatos Press and several people in the audience on that table back there where the video consent form is, which if you haven't signed, you need to. So, I think that's everything. And John Milcraig. No, not here. I didn't think so. That's a shame. We always love hearing John read. But our next reader is Patrick Lee Marshall. All the way from Keller, Texas. He is a member of the Denton Poets Assembly, Poetry Society of Texas, and the National Federation of State Poetry Societies. He has numerous publication credits, including Visions, Hunger for Peace, and Merging Visions collections. Let's welcome Patrick Lee Marshall.
My poem is in the first week of January, called Foreshadow. Slim, bare tree, cold branches bent, burdened by black leaves that shuffle, change places, flutter, fly into the wind, return, create eerie illusions in morning mist. Red and yellow on wings dark as night's center, flashing reverberating beats. Winter, winter, winter. I wish my wife were here because she always enjoys this poem. Without a feather anywhere near, I received a tweet sweet to my ear. She sent lust and love through time and space. A scarlet hot flash filled my face. No time spent waiting for a letter. Tweets hot and fresh are so much better. In an Instagram through time and space, I sent her a smiling face. My world grew quickly, deathly quiet. A rising fear, a brewing riot. My wife was just a tad too tweety. She had tweeted the wrong sweetie. And here's how I remember when we first got married. Castle Fantasies. I had been asked at a conference to write a poem about travel. And I was looking through travel pictures. Wading through pictures of my existence, I hold one up, examining the scene. Recalling Heidelberg, the quaint town, the magnificent castle a short walk away. Not a fairy castle, not a monument to ego. A town built within protecting walls, grand in scale, resplendent in age and decay. I captured her eyes briefly meeting mine as I prepared to photograph a memory of my wife. Against the statue-studded wall, which at her back was unaware of the beauty she added to the ages there. examining the picture after all these years, I see someone at the edge of our photograph. A young man with a zoom lens, focused, pulling closer a desired view of my wife. A smile broadens my face, trying to step into his thoughts, knowing he's not focused on the massive castle, but rather the ravishing woman that is my wife. I wonder what his fantasy was that day. And I wonder if Andrea knew and was even aware that the young stranger took a memory of her with him.
Thank you very much.